Good morning. Yep, it's morning. It's quite useful, these these cameras, because you can sort of check out. You probably do that before you hit the button, but you can just get those different angles and stuff. It's interesting because, but yeah, guys, what are we going to talk about here? What is coming up? What is coming up? Belfast Boxing and Blues, by the way. Probably should have said that. Straight out the gate. Slick boss. But do you know what it is? AJ versus Daniel Dubois. It's gonna be interesting, isn't it? I'm gonna close this window. Hang on. All this prep and stuff is a bit too much, isn't it? You should really have somebody to come around and do all that for you, you know what I mean? Press the button for you and just step out of the road and you can get on with your life. But basically then, and hang on 2 seconds. See, the back door is open there too, and one of my elderly neighbours could have been sort of just hiding out there in the alley, listening in on this valuable knowledge, and getting it for nothing. Which wouldn't do at all. But yeah, AJ Dubois, what's going on? It's gonna be interesting, isn't it? 2 weeks away, 1 week away by the stage. Yeah. It's interesting looking back at AJ's career, and it's very easy to get swept up in the Andy Ruiz, Andy Ruiz, the first fight, everything that happened there. And of course, that's what a lot of us remember him for. Regardless of the narratives that we're being fed currently, in terms of how he has progressed in this amazing comeback and his change. Actually looking back at some of his fights, it's kind of true. He has come a long way. If you look at the Dylan White fight, obviously he was a whole lot more gung-ho. You could not accuse him of being gun-shy then, because he hadn't been floored, you know what I mean? And he hadn't suffered a loss. So he was just getting stuck in. He would take shots in order to give shots. He believed in his own power. His combination punching was good then. He was a bit more clunky. You can see that he has really refined his skills. Despite having 3 losses on his record, 2 of them, one of them was a bit of an anomaly, in fairness, and the other 2 were against Usyk, which speaks for itself, really. And Usyk's superhuman, so it's like, and you have to give him credit then as well, AJ, for taking that fight and going in again the second time round, you know what I mean? A lot of people wouldn't, he didn't have to take that fight. He could have let one of the belts go, you know what I mean? But he believed in himself. I suppose by that time that he had, his boxing skills had come on a bit. He felt his IQ was improving, and maybe he wanted to test himself against Usyk, and perhaps even looking at his previous fights at heavyweight as well. He thought, yeah, I can do something with this guy. But maybe the fact that he had, I don't want to say fell in love with his new skills, that was his undoing, and of course that was the easy call for all of us to make after he suffered that first defeat to Usyk was, oh, you should have fought like Cesaro, you should have done it like Cesaro, you know what I mean? Which is easy to say. It's easy for us to say, isn't it? All of this stuff, really, because we're not taking those heavyweight punches to the head. You know, we're not getting that same money either, so I suppose we do have a right to pontificate. Yeah. So I think by the time you get to say the rebuilding part of his career, he fought that guy, he fought that American guy, then he fought the Scandinavian dude. Uh, Obviously, we there's no need to name these guys, really, is there? Yeah, he fought the Scandinavian dude, did what he did. Apparently, played it very safe, but when he finally felt it was the right time for him to unpack and unload, he delivered. Obviously the American guy, and he was working with Derek James at that time, I believe. He was still coming off the back of fresh off that second defeat to Usyk, and he had suffered a wee bit of a meltdown. And like, let's face it, guys, we all have our meltdowns, like, you know. Luckily for us, usually ours are in the privacy of our own homes. His was, live on TV, global. So that is what it is. So the first one was kind of like a laying the bedding, and he gets 12 rounds, get comfortable. You're working with a new set of tools here. You've got a new trainer, and such. After your man gets thrown under the bus, Fratz's trainer, can't remember any names. I remain unapologetic about that, by the way. So anyway, he fought Otto Wallen, right? Then after it, and I believe that was his first fight with, about to say Ben Davidson. And you could see right away that there was something else going on. He was setting up his punches. He was setting up that right hand. Playing it a bit more safe, but making sure everything was right before he exposed himself, which of course is a natural byproduct of unloading these heavy shots. You know what I mean? You're going to leave yourself open to some degree. That's just how the game works. So, in contrast then to that, early in his career, the likes of the Cesaro fight, he's really come a long way. You know what I mean? And it's very easy for us as fans that have lived through and continue to live through this era to really have AJ nearly as a scapegoat, just as this figure of our derision for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, how the mighty have fallen. We love, in Britain especially, we love to see a great success story, and then we love to tear them to the ground. Yeah, we love to tear them to the ground. There's nothing more satisfying than that. And what could be even more satisfying than to see them climb again? And so this has been well engineered, one might say, the route that he has taken. The Ngannou fight come along then, and especially in comparison with how Tyson Fury fared against him, he absolutely ruined Ngannou. Now, boxer, MMA fighter, whatever you want to call him, it was still quite impressive, yeah. So here we have him now going in against Dubois. Dubois who did he beat? Hrgovic. Shipped a lot of punishment, but showed just a bit more maturity, a bit more go, a bit more desire. He lost to Usyk. Some people say that he quit. It was a half decent performance anyway. Other people argue that he that supposed low blow was a legitimate shot. Depending on which side of the fence you're on. I didn't even see it, but what are you gonna do? So that was all okay. Who else did he fight? Jared Miller. That was a good growing fight for him. I think that Miller was maybe the perfect dance partner for him at that time. And he came out of it looking well. The way he finished him especially was satisfactory. So that is sort of kind of, I'll say wipe the slate clean, but it's pushed back into the depths of our memory, back into the recesses there somewhere. Um, the fact that he, quit injury or not against Joe Joyce, and everything else that has went on, and of course his character gets called into question as to whether he is, you know, sort of grown into a man recently and has got to be a, seen the face off and all that stuff, and he's got to be a bit more of his own man. He's still a young guy, like he's still only 26, I think. So you know what I mean. It's most of us are still really finding our way by that stage. Some of us don't find our way for quite a while. And I suppose others like a young Mike Tyson just come tearing out the gate. He's probably a man when he was about 12 or something. So you do have this thing with the personalities too. AJ seems to have recovered his confidence. Um, it must have been hard for him with the defeats and the public who adored him turning against him and stuff. But he seems to, by this stage, he's handling that quite well. Dubois is coming out of himself. He's got these good figures around him. His father seems to be a real likely lad, Del Boy type character. He's got this Don Charles in there as well, and I think he's got himself a nice girlfriend and stuff like this. All these things sort of help prop us up to some degree, don't they? So there you go. As far as things will go tactically and technically, I think AJ will come out cagey. But at the same time, I'm sure Ben Davison will be saying, like, you want to come out and make a statement in this first round, second round. Put it on him and let him know who Anthony Joshua is. Let him know he's in against the big boys. He's way out of his depth in terms of experience, in terms of skills. So make sure you dig him hard a couple of times, but also just let it be known, let it be, sort of demonstrated that as far as skills versus skill set and stuff, he's big time out of his depth. And this come forward marauding style, AJ has an answer for that. He can nip and tuck, step aside, and that is what it is. For Dubois, maybe he'll be looking to come right out and lay one right on AJ's chin. First mission, It could be feisty, you know what I mean? Everything going on in these guys' heads, the pressure, of course, what becomes of their careers after the fight, which sort of, AJ needs to keep winning. If he loses against Dubois, I heard somebody else say, there's nowhere for him to go again. Can he really restart again from there? Can we really adjust the narrative yet another time to get AJ up and out of there? And, obviously, Anthony Joshua, when he is promoted correctly and when the results are going his way, is big dollar. Yes, he is. He is big dollar. And the other thing then is Dubois is the guy for the future. He's the UK heavyweight for the next, foreseeable 10 years. This is a guy that, if he's promoted correctly and the results go his way, he's the new flag bearer, But he would have to prove himself in this instance, And if it does come away as a highly contested fight where one fighter simply edges the other and manages to clip the other, and it's been very competitive, then it looks good for both guys, So I'll not make any kind of prediction right now, but there you are, guys. That's pretty much all I've got to say about it. I'm gonna drink my coffee, smoke my cigarette, and have a good day, and I hope you do too.